Hello everyone. In this video we will start from the previous videos and the topic is path to the constitution. So the path to constitution means how we started to form constitution. Okay, what path, what way we choose to form constitution. Despite all these difficulties, there was one big advantage for the makers of the Indian Constitution. Unlike South Africa, they did not have to create a consensus about what a democratic India should look like. Much of this consensus had evolved during the freedom struggle. So, in case of South Africa, they have to had a great discussion over the ideals, what ideals they had to incorporate it in their constitution. But in case of India, the ideals which we want to take up for our democracy were very clear to us at the time of independence, at the time of freedom struggle, when we were struggling to get freedom from the British. As Gandhiji was in support of women's rights, poor people's economic condition should be good, right to vote should be given to all. So these were the things which we have discussed earlier also. Our national movement was not merely a struggle against foreign rule. It was also a struggle to rejuvenate our country and to transform our society and politics. So it was a struggle not to become freedom, but to transform the society, but to change society. The evils were prevalent in society, and it should be removed. Like untouchability was a very staunch social evil of that time, which later on after independence it was removed completely. There were sharp differences of opinion within the freedom struggle about path India should take up after independence. Such difference exists even today, yet some basic ideas had come to be accepted by almost everyone. So there were some difference of opinions, but the basic thing was very same. As far back in 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders drafted a constitution for India. See, 1928 में भी एक constitution को draft किया गया था. Okay, and in 1931, a resolution at the Karachi session of Congress dwelt on how independent India constitution should look like. So we have discussed our constitution in 1931 also. Okay, at that time Motilal Nehru and some other leaders, they discussed that when we will become independent, how our constitution will look like. So we had a discussion over this from pre-independence time. Both these documents were committed to the inclusion of universal adult franchise, right to freedom, equality, and to protecting rights of minorities and constitution of independent India. So at that time also in 1931, in 1921, in 1928, these were the time when we had already discussed the right to equality, okay, women's rights, minority rights, universal adult franchise, all these things we have already discussed. So we just had to incorporate these ideas in the constitution. Thus some basic values were accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate the constitution. So these were the basic values, and all the members of assembly, they accepted these values. The familiarity with the political institutions of colonial rule also helped an agreement over institutional design. So we, as British were having parliamentary democracy in its country. Okay, Britishers had parliamentary democracy, so we became very familiar with the parliamentary democracy. Okay, the democracy in which there is a parliament, and people elect their member of parliament, and these member of parliament, they take decisions regarding regarding country in the parliament. So we were familiar with this system, that's why we also adopted the system. The British rule had given voting rights only to few. On that basis, British had introduced very weak legislature. So you already know, but in the British times, all people do not have right to vote. Elections were held in 1937 to provincial legislatures, okay, and ministries all over British India. So in 1937, one election held in the provincial legislatures, it means state legislature, and the ministries all over British India. These were not fully democratic government, but experience gained by Indians in the working of the legislative institutions proved to be useful for the country in setting up its own institutions. Okay, so however, that was not fully democratic. The elections which held in the British time were not fully democratic, but our leaders who got elected by these elections, they gained much experience of how legislature works, how parliament works, what is democracy, everything they gained by experiencing. So same experience they used while they rule India. Working in that is why Indian Constitution adopted many institutional details and procedures from colonial laws like Government of India Act 1935. So Indian Constitution adopted many things from the British colonial rule. One of them was Government of India Act 1935, which was passed by the British Parliament. Years of thinking and deliberation on the framework of the Constitution had another benefit. So this discussion has another benefit. What? Our leaders gained confidence to learn from other countries, but on our own terms. So in framing the Constitution, we means Constituent Assembly, they learnt many countries' constitution, okay, and then we took good things from the other constitution. Many of our leaders were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain. So see what things from which we were inspired was ideals of French Revolution. We studied in French Revolution now. Idea of equality, idea of justice, idea of fraternity, okay, that we took from the universal adult franchise, women's rights, we took from the French Revolution. Okay, then parliamentary democracy in Britain and bills of right in US. Bills of rights are like fundamental rights to the citizens. We have in India fundamental rights. Similarly, the US people have Bill of Rights. The socialist revolution in Russia had inspired many Indians to think of shaping a system based on social and economic equality. So socialism or the socialist revolution in Russia was basically based on the equality, social and economic. Social means that all the people have same social status, okay, no one is inferior, no one is superior, okay, on basis of their religion, caste or place of birth, okay, race, no racial discrimination, okay. While economic equality means there should not be much gap, okay, between the people's economic conditions or income of the people. It means income inequality should be less. Or the socialism also says that the private property should be abolished. It means we should not have private properties, and the means of productions just like factories, okay, industry should be under government control. That is the main philosophies of the communism, socialism, okay. Now yet they were not simply imitating what others had done. At each step they were questioning whether these things suited to our country. All these factors contributed making of constitution. So while we were studying the others' constitution, we did not follow them blindly. We think we have thought over over long period over that. Okay, all the members, they give their opinion on this, on any topic. Then after discussion we adopted the good things from every constitution. Then Constituent Assembly, who then were the makers of Indian Constitution. You will find here very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played an important role in making constitution. So you can see there are some pictures here. Jaipal Singh, H.C. Mukherjee. It is throughout the chapter you will see these pictures throughout the chapter. So these are the people who contributed in making the Constitution of India. The drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representative. Okay, then called Constituent Assembly. So what, to make the constitution, one Constituent Assembly was framed. That Constituent Assembly was elected body. Okay, people elected this body to frame the constitution, and in this body people from every field were there. Every caste people were there, every religion people were there, every region from north, south, east, west, every region, and from every business people were there to frame the constitution. So see, elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. Soon after the country was divided into India and Pakistan. Okay, the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and State of Pakistan. So when the country was divided into two parts, India and Pakistan, so the Constituent Assembly had also been divided into Constituent Assembly of India and Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. Then the Constituent Assembly was also divided into Constituent Assembly of India. Okay, that's clear. So Constituent Assembly that wrote Indian Constitution had 299, okay, almost 300 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26th November 1949, but it came into effect on 26th January 1950. So after the long debates, long discussion over the Constitution, finally we had completed Constitution on 26th November, and we adopted, Assembly just we can say agreed, okay, with the Constitution on 26th November 1949. So that's why this day is celebrated as Constitution Day. 26th November every year we celebrate Constitution Day. Okay, but this Constitution came into effect, okay, on 26th January. Came into effect means now you have to follow from, we have to follow the Constitution from which date? 26th January 1950. We were to follow this from this date, 26th January, but when the government adopted on 26th November. Then why should we accept the Constitution made by this Assembly more than 50 years ago? We have already noted one reason above. The Constitution does not reflect views of its members alone. It expresses a broad consensus of its time. So see, we can see why still we are agree on the Constitution, we are following the Constitution, because it has the provision for every person. You know, now according to the Constitution, casteism is illegal. Okay, so see, this is not for the people who made this Constitution, but this is for the whole entire India. Okay, and there is no discrimination, there will be secularism, justice will be given, right to freedom will be given. So that is for whole India. That's why we are still following this. It expresses a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because of basic rules were not accepted to all major social groups and political parties. So many countries, they have changed their constitution from time to time. So that is not the big deal to amendment in the constitution, to do amendments. In some other countries, the constitution exists mere a piece of paper. No one actually follows its experience of our constitution. Sorry, no one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different. Over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of constitution, but no large group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. So it means basically some people, okay, some we can countable people, okay, you can count on the fingers. Okay, some people have some problems with constitution. Okay, this is not good in constitution, this is not good in constitution. But on a large basis, on a overall basis, we can say all the political parties and all the social groups agree to the constitution. The second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented people of India. Okay, there was no universal adult franchise at that time. Okay, so the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by the people of India. So उस टाइम पर तो हमको rights नहीं थे, voting rights नहीं थे. Okay, some people have voting rights, not all the people have voting rights. So that's why the assembly which was elected earlier was not fully democratically elected. Okay, then come here, elected mainly by the members of existing provincial legislature that we mentioned above. Okay, so it was elected mainly by the members of existing provincial legislature that we mentioned above. So who elected these assembly? Already elected members of the legislative provincial legislature. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all region of the country. So I told you it includes all members from all areas of life. Assembly was dominated by Indian National Congress. So mostly the leader was of Congress leader, mostly party that led India's freedom struggle. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinion. The assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. In social terms too, assembly represented members from different language, different caste groups, class, religion, occupation. So people from many social groups, they were involved in making constitution. Even if the Constituent Assembly was elected by universal adult franchise, its composition would not have been very different. It means at the time there was no adult franchise to all. Okay, but still the assembly had people from every field. Finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives sanctity to the constitution. Okay, so it gives a credibility to the constitution. Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open and consensual manner. Okay, so everything was open, not a very secret things they did. It was open meetings. Okay, so everything was open. The first, some basic principles were decided, agreed upon. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Bhimrao Ambedkar, prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause. So first of all, they made a draft constitution. Draft constitution means basically a rough figure. Okay, like this, how we will make this, not a fair final completion of the constitution, but we had put some ideas. Okay, in a roughly made a constitution, then that is called a draft constitution. So clause by clause discussion took place. Then more than 2000 amendments were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days spread 3 years. So the people or the member of the committee, they discussed these things for 114 days. Okay, within 3 years. Every document presented, every word spoken on Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. So what the discussion they did okay, in framing the constitution, these all discussions were recorded, okay, and these are preserved in the form of book. There is a book which had 12 bulky volumes, okay. The name was Constituent Assembly Debates. You can find these on internet also. These debates provide the rationale behind every provision of constitution. They are used to interpret the meaning of constitution. So every behind everything, behind means every ideas, okay, they took, or every decision they make, there was a huge discussion, great discussion was behind that. So that was well written in the Constituent Assembly Debates, which is in the 12 bulky volumes. So you can see this. So now the next topic is, we can see guiding values of Indian Constitution. So what are the guiding values? Okay, what are the ideals on which our Constitution of India is based upon? Okay, so that we will discuss in the next video. So thank you so much and goodbye.